Why, hello. Welcome back to City Skylines 2. My name is Dava, and we'll be starting an entirely new city just for YouTube. This is the Portsmouth map, UK map, I say, from Uncle Ron. You can find it in the Asset Workshop or Paradox Workshop. It is I would say, it's a very nice map, a very nice flat map, something that I really look forward to with building. A lot of water, enough land so you don't build too much in the area. It's a very perfect settlement. So, with that being said, we can begin this map. We are going to start with just power first, power and water. I'll get into the details a little bit why I always start with those two first. And then next we'll be begin the highway process. Before I begin, I just want to give you a nice thank you for stopping by the channel, viewing it, subscribing. It really helps, so thank you a lot. With that being said, let's begin. Welcome to Davesport, a brand new city we'll be making here on YouTube. YouTube only series, might I say, so nothing will be interfered with through here on Twitch. Everything here you'll be being done as I'm doing it right now. So, the first steps of usually what I would do when building a city is destroy every highway that I see possible or fit. I will save that for the next episode specifically, because what I want to do now is prep the land for what I'm going to build after I build the highways down and get them all situated, nicely placed. So step one of building a city is usually power, water, the little city services that you would need throughout the area. And the area that I want to build that in is... it could be placed anywhere as long as not too close to the central portion of the main city. I intend to place the actual downtown portion between these two little nodes here, these two little small patches of land. Most likely on the right side, on the right atrium of the entire city. However, I would think that the best part or place to place the power and water normally would be right here, since it's far away from the city. That's usually one thing that you would want for the power or water to be, is far away. But the space right here is also rather nice as well. Very manageable. And the space over here, they're both really tough to pick and decide between. This area in here is mostly like a little bay for boats and whatnot to reside in. But I also think that'd be a good area for power to come through. Power, water, garbage, and those kind of facilities to be placed alongside back over here, while the downtown is over here bustling, and there's more suburban as we go further back. So I think possibly over here would be a good spot for it. Now, to begin this episode off, we're going to be making a large power plant, mostly nuclear, because I want to prepare this place for the future. I thought it would be larger. I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was gonna be a larger space acquiring this whole area, but actually it's not that much. Not that bad, actually. It's very manageable. This could be both power, water, and maybe even a garbage facility being placed here. But I digress. Let's begin. To start things off, I want to take a look at the topography in the landscape, and the topography in general. It's all rather... I wouldn't say a hilly, more or less sporadic. So through here, me personally, I don't like having the industrial, that's what I'll call it over here, the industrial area to be as hilly as it shouldn't be. I'll just take this area and just kind of flatten it down to one level. Now I don't want it to be too close to the water, but I also don't want it to be a little bit high. So let's go for a solid 50. A 50 range here, and try to level it out from there. Now I will take up the entire range of landscape over here. I'll say build with the terrain, but in this case it's industrial. I won't try to. There will be times where I will build with the terrain, but here this is okay. I don't know what this path is, but gonna get rid of all of this. And then just kind of plop it down. Plop down our building. See how it looks. See how the vicinity will take it. Through there, I will get a road in place, but I don't want to make it connect to the highway just yet. I want to save that for the next part where I change the entire road layout of this entire map. Because as of right now, I'm not too fond of circular interchanges, or let alone roundabouts. So that will be changed, as well as the train network passing through here as well. All of these things will change, but for now, we're just going to focus on one little thing, and that's power. Now, for power, it's relatively simple. You connect to a road, and you're done. That's basically it. But we're trying to make this look a lot nicer, a little bit more posh to it. I don't know if you can call that posh for a power plant, but we're going to attempt to do that. And to do that, we're just going to place a bunch of roads, surfaces, decals, all that we can, just to give it a nice little touch. A little touch of love in the area. So to start, I want to bring this up as close to the water as I can, because usually nuclear power plants require a large amount of water. Realistically speaking, they are usually placed by a moving water source, a river as such, or any kind of large body of water, just because these things take in a lot of water naturally. So I'd like to put them realistically closer to the waterfront, as well as some tracks, some train tracks alongside the way to match the freight capacity that would typically come here. But in this game, we can't really simulate that, but that's okay. We can imagine it. Now, the reason I'm placing a bunch of retaining walls here, I like to have it on the complete edge of the road itself, but also it's for something you'll see just now what I'm going to do. I will take all of these water sources and bring it to the edge of our water plants. So what we're going to do here is just take one of these roads here and just force our advanced water treatments to be alongside the waterfront. So I'm actually gonna take this road and bring it back. Drag it back just a bit. Let's go through here. Remove you. We're gonna make a little channel here. A channel by force if we have to. And place it along right about here. And if you have anarchy, you can place, actually not anarchy, let me just see which mod it is. Oh, yes, it is anarchy. You can place multiple unique buildings down. So normally in base game, you can only place one of these buildings, which is kind of sad. But in here, we can do whatever we want. We're modding this game. This is a modded gameplay. I failed to mention that, but I don't think I needed to really be saying that, because I'm a heavily modded user. We place these alongside here. We create channels of water to pass through the area. I could actually even separate one of these and just have a bridge across at some earlier point, so I don't have to always allow them to pass between here. So let's try this. Placing this here, cutting this off, and then we do the same thing on the opposite side. We get another set of water pumping stations through here. I just need to see a good clearance of where it should be placed. So let's go for back here. We're gonna infill the land just a bit. Just a bit. And let's go a little bit further back, approximately right around here. Take our next station. Place it alongside here. Doing this gives the channel a much nicer feel to it. And we just place the road right below. I'd like to try to go between these water pipes here. This node does allow for that, but then it will make the water channel a little bit narrow. I could also use move it and drag it back, but by the time you're watching this gameplay, by the way, City Skylines updated to a detailers patch part 2. I failed to mention that. Some mods are a little bit buggy and or broken, so I'll try to limit myself from using those specific mods. So if I pulled it like this close together, the channel wouldn't be wide enough, so I'll keep it as close as I can, just to the... Let me grab you right here. As close as I can to the entire building. I can always drag it back later on, once the mods become a little bit more stable, so I'm going to try not to use them as often as I would. By placing them here like so. 6 for each side. Then we force a channel to be placed between here with a quay wall. And we can just make this one an elevated bridge across. And just force a little channel right between here. So we're going to force the water between. Forgot to make you a bridge. Force the water between here. And then we have active pumping water to be pushed through here. Just let the water fill in. It'll take a bit, but that's mostly it for the water pumping stations or facility. And close it on the other side. Make sure the water can't go beyond this wall. Just to be sure, let's make this road a little bit thicker. Not that physics can equate to this game, but sometimes you like to play to those rules. It gives it a sense of, a little bit of sense of, I can't say realism, but security for yourself. So let's speed up, let the water fill in. Actually, I could just use dev mode to make the water increase its speed. A little simple water pumping station over here. And for the inner side is the dirty water. Now, the Japan pack also came out at the same time. I haven't had the chance to use this building, the JP water treatment plant. I don't know, it doesn't have any upgrades. It is a lot more modern. I will say that. The water is very swooshy. Now, sewage treatment, 105 million gallons. What does the default game do? 105 million gallons as well. But this one outputs... Oh, fresh water is needed all around the cities. Oh, this one outputs water at a very high rate as well. Wow. 1 million to 51. It outputs water at a really high rate. I will use both. This one, however, is a lot more modern than this one. This one could even be closer to the downtown itself, but I will drag it further down. I want to use these wastewater treatment plants just because of their upgrade paths. They offer a nice look and they can be detached far away from the building itself. So these could be near the water or somewhere further up above the water or anywhere else alongside that area. I will, however, put them on this side of the plant itself. Now, I didn't calculate for space, but all in all, these should suffice for here for now. I actually will push these to the side because I have an idea of what I want to do with the space between. I mentioned earlier that a train would pass down. I have an idea of making a train pass down and pass between and some tracks going forward through here by using different stains to make it match the look. So we're going to use, these are advanced filtration systems. We're going to use these two. And separate the water line from that distance and cut this one short, this road short, and using that over here as well. Let's place a road between here. And that will be all. That will do from this point forward. I could even change the design of these roads, make some of them gravel if I had to, just to give it a distinct dirt look. That way you don't see often traffic movement between here or truck movement between here. This is just a off-road example or offshore point. Oh, and this is why I didn't want to use move it, because it will crash and then this happens. So I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that crash or sudden crash that was about to happen. So I just can't touch move it, that's all. So we're gonna clear away these trees here just to make way for the train to pass through eventually. But before that, I want to make a nice little substation for the entire power grid. So we're going to take a series of emergency battery and substation or transformer buildings and place them around, just so we can get a nice branch of where we want to take apart our power and dismiss it everywhere. Now, before that, we also want some regular industry buildings to be placed here as well. I will reclaim some land again, but also at the same time I will soften the land in the process, just so it feels nicer to look at, and the roads can incline it a little bit better than having those sharp instances. So through here, our main road will most likely travel beyond this direction. Our track will most likely follow in the same direction. So our main road, it could be this one down here that passes through up here, or the main one passes right above this little line limit. So let's actually use this one. Oops. And make this one pass all the way between. I'll move you to the side, move all of you to the side as well. Okay, let's start with the train. The train will be a series of tracks. Oh gosh, I can't even see a thing up here. The train will pass through a series of tracks. Oops. Of non-electrified tracks that I have here. So these tracks do not have any catenaries or any form of power to them, or cannot carry power. Strictly made just for diesel locomotives. Now, usually what I would do, combine these tracks. To do that, you would use singular tracks, which I will have a hard time finding here. Here it is, one way. Use one-way tracks to merge them without really merging them, to make one large railroad crossing instead of two separate ones. So what I do here is keep this track, but bring this one into here and pull it back out at the same time, making this one also a one-way track as well. So that should be have this look. And now the problem is I'm going to press move it. So let's hope that this one works. It does. Okay. I'm going to use move it and drag these back. Drag you back as well. And try to straighten it up as much as we can. It's missing through here. Get this one out. And it's almost good enough. But we here don't strive for good enough when it comes to track layouts or highway ramps. This has to be nice and straight. Close enough. And I just say don't do that. To get rid of these little markings, we just want to put a little road here. Turn this into a two-way. And there we go. So now it's just one large railroad crossing instead of two separate railroad crossings. It just looks nicer that way. Here, we're going to do the same thing here. Except for this one, let's hope move it doesn't do it again, just in case. I will save. I don't know how I'm at 2 already, but... Gonna save here. Okay, good. We're gonna bring these closer. Because I want 3 tracks to be placed between here. Except make the 3rd track be reduced down to the 2nd track, where the 2nd track will be the main line, where this one will curve. And meet up with this one. We will then diverge that track alongside the outside. So, go to this. I'm gonna keep this here. You're gonna merge in. And you will also merge in. Now, finding a good spot for this track to merge in will be a little bit tricky. But we can work our way through it if we just do this. Now, again, I'm going to have to click move it. I'm realizing how much I use move it. There it goes again. I'll be back again. Okay. I am back again. Let's see here. We left off with the train, that's right. So I'm going to keep this track short. I'm going to try not to use move it. Might be difficult, but we're going to try to use this track and have a series of tracks alongside it here, which I might use move it for again, but we'll see if we can get by. Also, while I was building this, I wondered if there is a way to connect high voltage power lines into one unit, bring them together into one spot, and then just distribute it through a large transformer, but I don't think that's possible. To like downstep a high voltage transformer into a lower voltage transformer into a series of lower voltage transformers. Because usually that's how it would work in the real world. You take the incredibly high voltage from the power line and then bring it to a transformer that can downstep the power. And then that power will be downstepped into, you know, like your little telephone pole power. But that doesn't exist, which I think would be a good opportunity to have that in this game for a power grid, which would be pretty nice. Like 2 different downsteppers would be great. But I digress. Let's continue the train here, the track. So we're going to take this track over here. This one's going to make a dead end, since this one is my main one that converges into 2 different curve roads here. We're going to take you and have 2 different road crossings, but make you curve alongside this road over here and continue down the main line. Now, for here, I'm going to turn off grid snapping here and just have this run straight down one line. Now, what I could do is actually remove this road here. I don't really need this road just because the main road is actually in the bottom, so we could take this away and just fill this with nothing but track and just make it connect to the side of the building itself. A series of singular tracks to be placed out here, and then just decorate it with little freight cars. Now what we'll do here is take some surfaces and just paint them alongside the train car here. What I like to use is the riverbed, and place them alongside the track surface. They're a dark, natural looking dirt color, a very wet color, but they go well alongside a train landscape fairly well. Places alongside the entire scape here. Oops, missed. Here and through here. And the same thing for in here. Once I find a good spot to enclose this, I'll figure that out. Yeah, they leave a nice little dirt sponge here, which is great. You could also take your other surfaces, your stained surfaces, and just place them or paste them within here just to give it a darker look. If you do have the stains, these lightly gray stains, you can use these to overlap different stains to give it a darker look. Make it look a little bit dirtier. It's a little bit hard to tell, but you can notice the detail once you're really in it. There are different types of stains that this will come with. Usually, I prefer to use a very darker stain, such as this one, because this one you can really tell the difference. And also the tracks look like they were long abandoned once you zoom far away, but once you zoom in, they kind of look clean, but far away, it gives a nice look. A nice, decrepit look. And doing that, let's take this out over here. So, for this side, the nuclear power plant has no attachments. For this side, we can most likely use the transformers. Or actually, rather, they should be better up here, since the transformers actually appear from above. Is there one that appears from lower down south? Are you one that could be used? No, you go to the road. Okay. So I can take these here. Now, my goal for this power plant is to just take the power and just spread it in different directions. It will be a little bit weird looking from here, but if you make it to be not functional but realistic, it could still work out. So what I mean here is you could take your little roads, except I at least want to try to make them match the grid. Take your little roads, turn off that one, keep this one here. What you can do is just flip them around. I should not be using. I did it again. I almost crashed the game without thinking. I use move it way more than I thought. Oh, actually, no. Electric cable not connected. Really? One is taken away from the road. Interesting. So, oh, that's interesting. Okay, I'll figure that out. But you can take the grid, or you can take the power cables and make it look like they came from the power of the building itself. That's one option. Another option is to just take the lines individually, or even make an entirely new plant, but a smaller one that'll look like it'll fit the area, and just have a bunch of branches from these ones as well. So let's try and figure out how we can make this work here. Okay, so I figured out a solution to what I was thinking of. So having a transformer go down, then back up to the transformer, this might be one of the only solutions I can think of for the time being. So having them lined up alongside here, removing their counterparts and just keeping the transformer itself will be my option of what I want to do here. So let's see what that looks like. Okay, so I have an idea of what I want to do, how to disperse the power in the area. I had placed dirt here just to give it a nice little, well, dirty look. But I believe I want this power line to run alongside this corridor, alongside the train as well. I'm keeping the single track, by the way. Sometimes they updated the game's AI to work while the train is switching tracks. So I was curious to see how it would run if it just had one track. I wanted to play it through to see if it would work well. So running this power line through here and then connecting it through here instead. Remove this one. Do the same thing similar on towards this side. Putting a little dirt patch between here and here. And then that could be the whole little power facility being, well, facilitated. Just through this little spot. Power and water. Now, I was thinking about putting a little rail yard here. Which, honestly, it could work by just having the train still run through here and curve around. But it would be a little bit of a wide curve. But this could work. Alongside the power transformer as well. The battery, backup battery, being placed here too. Which could actually run from the power plant itself down towards here. But I think I'd want to make that come from this one instead. So, we're going to pull this one back rather. But also at the same time, I put a little oil station here for some diesel trains to come by and just randomly take oil or deliver oil. It's gonna have a track branch off from here and turn this way. So yeah, that's the plan. We want to pull this back. I put a chemical plant here too. We're gonna pull this plant here backwards, give it enough space for the battery station, and then complete the area, basically. Complete the area until it has to be updated again. So that's the plan. And here we have our final little power plant, power and water situation going on here. Small little things, just a very narrow strip of our power and water. There are some parts that I want to touch up, namely the corner over here, but I'm afraid to press move it and I'm going to crash. So I'm gonna refrain from doing this until an update comes out, or at least until the problem is resolved. But there are other areas too, like these tracks over here I'd like to move, but for now, this is what I'm left with, or what I will be left with. There are some places where I did forget to put something, and that is mostly parking. Now, this did come with new parking lots. We have a bunch of new little large parking lots, or those are normal, but we have these little wide parking lots, which would actually fit the area pretty nicely to have between here. However, there is a piece up here that kind of sticks out. Can I put a back road back there just to make it fit? I don't think this parking lot is new. No, I can't because it interferes with the train. I could, however, do this, but I will also refrain from doing that. There is also parking on the side of the road, which I could take advantage of, which I should take advantage of, but those feel like for more inner city. Solar parking isn't also a bad idea either, which is what I could use for the area up here since I left it blank. And actually, it fits rather well to have a parking lot right up here. And I'll also make this free because I'm not a villain that'll charge people to come here to work. But yes, this is my little power plant scenario that I have going on here. The next time we'll be incorporating the entire highway system and getting our train lines connected fully, as well as the power and our starting neighborhood, which I'm not sure where it will be yet, but that's for us to figure out later. It could be over here, could be back here, could be in the central over here where we're going to meet our way to downtown, but we'll find out later. But with that being said, this is my little take on power and water and the train facilities that run between here. I could also decorate the trains a bit. You know what? Before I end, let's put some trains on these tracks now, should we? Yes. There we go. Okay, that's better. Okay, now I will see you guys next week. I will see you guys next week Sunday for the entire highway experience. Be sure to follow me on twitch.tv/Daba787. That's where I will be streaming the other city from now on that we've been working on in the past. Again, this is a new series entirely. The inspiration for this city will come as we go. It won't be based off of one specific city. It'll just be little splotches of everything. So, with that being said, take care, everybody. I will see you guys next week. Subscribe if you want to, but I won't force you to. Take care, everybody.